Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here with some more Hearthstone. Today we'll be taking a look at some gameplay of the Shaman Control deck that was spotlighted in the last video. I'm okay with my opening hand. Fire Elemental's a little questionable, but you know what, a lot of times this deck is quite easily getting to turn 6 and plus, so I don't mind having him, and he's just a very nice card to have. And also, part of my decision came against the fact that we are playing against another Shaman, and I, at the moment, have lots of, at least in that opening hand, I had some nice early game removal, and I just drew into some more early game removal. So all these things will buy us time to do something like plop that Fire Elemental in play. I'll be very interested to see how much of this is a mirror matchup or not. Looks like it isn't exactly, at least. He's starting off with that. It's actually surprising to me that he opened up with the Acidic Swamp Ooze, simply because I could be running a deck. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to wait to Fork to Lightning next turn, so I'm going to take some damage right now. I could be running a deck that has weapons. Oh, that's the perfect play, knowing that we got the Stoneclaw Totem. I could be running a deck with weapons. Shaman, of course, have access to the Doomhammer, so it's surprising to me that he opened up with the Acidic Swamp Ooze, unless his deck is a super aggro deck in which he's trying to win early, and oh god, this is gonna be an amazing Fork to Lightning. Oh good lord. And we're not gonna do this. This is for some other time. See if we get the spell damage one here. Not that it makes a difference. It's a healing totem. So here we go, 2 damage across the board. Thank you very much. Yeah, so if he's running a super aggro deck, the Doomhammer is such a late game card that it makes sense that he would open up with those. Or maybe he just, you know, I'm assuming he's good. We're playing in Masters here. I'm assuming he at least knows that I have weapons I could potentially be playing. So yeah, there is that. All right, so at this point, I could go for a Lightning Bolt against this bad boy. Just to mitigate this damage, because again, he's quite clearly playing aggro. The other thing I could do is just wait for a potential Lightning Storm in a future turn, knowing that he's probably going to follow this up. All right, I'm going to take a chance here. We're going to take a chance. This could not work out for us, but the worst that's going to happen is we're going to take an extra 2 damage. Otherwise, I think he's probably just going to attack into this, or waste a spell on this, which, you know, God willing, that'd be the best thing that could possibly happen if he throws a spell at this thing. So yeah, I wanted to wait so that we could guarantee if I dropped a Lightning Storm this turn when he's got other creatures in play, which I am, based on what we've seen so far, it looks like this is aggro, lots of summon minions is what he's running here. So let's see how this turn plays out. Let's see what he does. We're going to get a totem, and we're going to get another creature. Yes, and does he let my spell power live here? That's the question. He shouldn't. He does. Hallelujah. Now, I just took a bunch of damage, but that worked out beautifully for me because this bad boy is coming to play. Before we do that, though, the first thing we're going to do is call in another totem. I like to make sure we've got all this stuff on the board. And then 3 to 4 damage across the board, clearing everything he has and passing the turn. Again, we've taken a bunch of damage, but the fact that worked out well, the truth is, his best move, you want to kill this. You want to kill this, especially he knows he's playing against a Shaman. He knows the potential that this deck has. And for some reason he decided not to do that. He wanted to get that damage straight to my face. Considering he's playing aggro, I guess that kind of makes sense. But obviously in the long run, that set him back quite a bit more than if he had just taken this out. The other thing, though, you could argue he takes that out. I could have potentially, because there's only 4 totems you can get from the Totemic Call. So he could think, oh, there's a good chance he's going to get something anyways. But still, I don't think it was the smart move on his part. All right, so we got 4 that we're sitting on right now. I'm actually considering dropping this down to attack into that to kill it off. The other option is I can throw down a Lightning Bolt to kill that thing. But I kind of want to save these for a little bit, so I actually am going to go with this. This thing will die next turn, I know that, but at least I'm not taking damage. We're staving off some of the attack. And maybe I should have attacked in him. No, it doesn't matter because I've got plenty of other ways to destroy him anyways. So, staving off some of the upcoming attack. I also didn't want to drop my lightning bolt right then. I guess I could have dropped my lightning bolt right then because the next turn I would still be able to fire elemental. What's going on right now is as the game progresses, it gets progressively more and more in my favor because my deck, his deck is a early to mid game deck. My deck is a mid to late game deck, and we've got just amazing stuff to deal with this swarm of minions. Like this bad boy right here is going to quite easily pick that thing off. Don't need to waste a spell, don't need to put myself in overload, can save these spells most importantly for later in the game. Oh, he's got one of those bad boys as well too. Trying to think here now, actually. Well, we could hex it. So he's sitting on a 6/5, he will be able to destroy my 6/5, but I guess the advantage for me there is that I don't take that damage to the face. The other thing I could do is 3, and then I could kill it. Why don't we do that, actually? That sounds like a better plan. Go with 3, finish it off with a lightning bolt. I like that plan better. This way, if he wants to kill this, he's got to use this plus something else. I get rid of that 6. He's not guaranteed to kill the fire elemental anymore. And if this thing lives for a turn, I could even Defender of Argus on him. Making him force future attacks into it, plus, you know. This will be interesting. I'm interested to see. We're probably going to hex this guy. I don't like him sitting there like that as a 4/6. And we've got 2 hexes now, so we got a total of 7. So it'd be 4, 5, 6, 7 if we decide to do it that way. And actually, I think that'll be perfect, because then I can attack into this to get rid of the hex creature. Oh, that's perfect. This is perfect. Okay. So we drop the hex. We go with the Defender of Argus, pumping up both these guys +1/+1 and taunt. We're going to use this +1/+1 to take that guy out. We're going to use this 7/6 to hit him in the face. If he wants to throw his creatures next turn, that's fine. I'm not going to just do that. We're going to push through that damage, force him to make that play if he so desires. And also, we need to do damage to him because, you know, we're at 20, clock's ticking. Even though I feel like at this point, unless he's got some haymakers in his deck, which he probably does, he probably has at least 2 to 3 late game creatures. There's also stuff like that hex right there. He probably has even aggro decks. Most aggro decks at least run 1 to 3 late game beasts, not beast as in, you know. I mean creatures that do stuff. So what I really need right now is some of my mass removal. What I did not draw into is some of my mass removal. What I'm going to play is my Azor Drake. That's actually not bad, but I don't really want to play it. Or maybe I do. I don't want to play it until I get rid of some of the stuff, I think, actually. Oh boy. Alright, so we got 2 of the Earth Shocks. I want to get rid of his threats right now. What I'm going to do is we're going to... Wait, okay, that's a lightning bolt. So I'm going to do a lightning bolt here. I am going to Earth Shock this so that I can bypass it. And then let's drop this down. Oh, it also killed it, obviously, that's the other benefit. And then we're going to get rid of the 3/1. Why the 3/1? Because if I left the 3/1 and the 1/1, he could have killed this. Now he only has 3 damage against this stuff. That is why I played that the way that I did. So we used a lot of spells. We still have a Hex and we still have an Earth Shock for that super threatening play like this. Perfect. Worked out. Worked out. That is just fine. Oh boy, he is going to be pissed. I would not have used the Earth Shock if it was my last one. I would not have used the Hex if I didn't have another coming up. You could argue play this. Now is not the turn though. We're gonna clear his board. That's the most important thing. So first things first, we Hex this bad boy. We laugh at him as we attack into him with this. And then what I will do actually is we're going to get rid of this bad boy. We're gonna play down a totem. And we're going to play down the Manatine now that his doesn't have an easy way of killing it. Ho ho, boy. Talk about board presence, card draw, And with our spell power, this Lava Burst now up to 7 damage. Let's see what he top decked. What'll it be, Hax Pax? Is it your late game card? You just played a Frostwolf, which was one of your late game plays. He died. What do you have now? Chillwind Yeti, that's something else. Not gonna be enough for him, though. Definitely not, indeed. Alright, so he hits me for 1. We might just throw the Lava Bursts at that thing. Not gonna Ragnaros yet, just because he's got so much in play. Gonna throw the Lava Burst at this thing. And then I guess we go like this, and like this. Okay. It's got 1 totem left in play. We draw a card, there's another Azure Drake. Next turn we can drop the Ragnaros, we'll wipe his board, the Ragnaros will hit him for 8. So why not play the Ragnaros earlier? Certainly could have done that. The problem is when he's got so much board presence, we don't know what we're gonna hit, and I like to know what I'm gonna hit. Don't like it being a guessing game, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go like this. Now there's still an off chance that it's gonna end up hitting his, well, it's not an off chance, it's 50-50, but there's still a chance it's gonna hit his totem, but at least now it's more in our favor that he is gonna be the one who gets hit in the face. And every turn he's going to be playing a new totem at the very least, plus another creature most likely. There we go, that worked out well for us. But since we've got the board presence now, we can clear his additional plays. We've got the spells to clear his additional plays. And that's going to force that Ragnaros through to his face. So there's that. We've got the Lava Burst for that. This deck has so many answers. This deck is nothing but answers. It's really good. All right, there's that first game. Pretty solid. Let's move on to another. And our second game here is against a priest, Ragnaros the Fire Lord. No thank you. Couple of reasons. Number 1, late game. So late game. Number 2, it's a priest. Mind control. No thank you. When I play the priest, I assume they've got 2 mind controls. And I don't play my late game cards. We're talking about Ragnaros, as well as, I think I've got a Sarah in the deck right now. I'm not 100% positive though. I'll drop down a totem. You don't play your late game cards until you see him use his mind controls or Shadow Word Depths on something else. The other reason I liked my opening hand is because we've got the Azure Drake, and of course the Azure Drake against the Priest is very good, sitting at that wonderful 4 damage spot, making it more difficult for that Priest to deal with. So this turn, there are 2 options. We could play this, but that would overload us. Well, actually overloading us next turn isn't that big of a deal. Because then we can Flame Tongue, and then on turn 5 we can still Azure Drake. So I was thinking it was turn 4 for some reason. I didn't want to overload, but it isn't. So we actually are going to Feral Spirit right now, and next turn we can Flame Tongue. If he does not deal with these guys, he's getting hit for 8 next turn, which is painful. So that's a nice little setup play. Turn 3, Spirit Wolf. Turn 4, you'll be locked out of 2. You'll have 2 left. You can drop a Flame Tongue and play. Let's see if he... Okay, he's going to drop that down. That's fine. I'm trying to think right now, actually. I could Lightning Bolt it, but that's going to lock us out of our turn 5 play for the Azure Drake. So I think I'm just going to throw away one of my Spirit Wolves. It's not throwing it away, I'm eliminating a threat. It's not like it's a complete waste, you know what I mean? And we're gonna save our Lightning Bolt for a future card. And with this second thing, I am actually gonna get rid of his... No, he's got 2 damage across the board, so we're gonna attack into him. Get damage through at least. And we can get rid of him with this, right? Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. So I was worried about Holy Nova, 2 damage across the board. If I attacked into that with that, that would have been stupid too. I wasn't even thinking about the Wrath of Air when I was about to make that decision. So I'm glad I didn't go through with it. So now we're set up, turn 5, we're gonna be all set to drop the Azure Drake. It's difficult for him to deal with. That's gonna follow us up into subsequent turns for some pretty hilarious damage. What is his 5 drop? Ooh. That is something that might be worth delaying. That is something that might be worth delaying the Azure Drake. We'll be delaying it, unfortunately, 2 turns, because next turn we'll be at 4, but that is really scary. I don't want to throw away my creatures. We can also go 4, I guess 5, 6 if we really wanted to, but we throw away this thing. But we get more spell power back? No, we don't, because we're only at 5 right now. So yeah, I am just going to hold off on playing my Drake. We're going to go with that. And what we can also do is drop another Flame Tongue. Sure, why not? It's more damage. It's pushing more damage through. Only got an extra 2 damage out of that. Was there a better placement? I guess it would have been only 2 more damage regardless, but I like that we're putting pressure on him this early in the game. That's not something this deck typically does. It's also getting rid of these removal spells, which makes me happy too. I'd rather him use it on that than some other smaller creatures that I have. So, not necessarily. That's I probably just lied to you. It's not good for me that he just did what he did, but it's okay. It's not that bad. So we could Defender of Argus. We could also just weapon and attack into him, and I think that's what we'll probably do. I'm just gonna take that 3 damage to the face, and we're just gonna hold on to these things. I don't waste these earlier than I need to. That's my idea. So we're at 30. We haven't taken any damage this turn. Use our health as a resource. Keep our creatures alive. Take some damage to the face. Sounds good to me. Absentee, where you been this game, buddy? Haha, Force got jokes. Alright, so the Azure Drake is my plan for next turn. And we are going to be locked out of 1, which will put us at a total of 6 crystals. So we can do Azure Drake plus an Earthshock or a Lightning Bolt. Okay, there's the mass damage of the Holy Nova. He's not going to have another play this turn, though, most likely. Not a lot of stuff priests are doing with 1 resource. Alright. So that obviously hurt, but here comes the Azure Drake. Very nice for us. Oh no! Ah, crap. Oh, crap. He's gonna be able to get rid of this with a Shadow Word Death. Ah, man. Placement should have been on the right to protect him. I get more damage in future turns with that, but he's not protected now, which is the scary thing. You know what, though? He's so low. If he wants to use we're gonna do this right now. And I'm gonna attack into him as well. We're gonna put him so low that he's forced to get rid of this stuff next turn. He's forced to get rid of... He's pretty much screwed. I think the game's pretty much over. Alright, so he gets rid of that with Shadow Word Death. That was the danger in putting next to the Flame Tongue. This guy's still alive, though. We only need 1 damage to push through, because we've got the weapon... sorry, that's... What am I talking about? That's, minion only. We need 4 damage to go through, of course. And he might heal himself up. We'll see what he plays right here. Is this a Smite? I think he's... Iron Beak Owl, okay. Well, we're still gonna have 2 going through. He's at 6, he'll be down to 4. Let's see what we draw into. Actually, we got 2 more damage from, Defender of Argus. My shield for Argus. Just like that. 3, 4, 5, 6. Well. I must say, that is... This deck's doing well, huh? Let's get 1 more game in. I think we can do that. And the final game for today is against a rogue. Ysera is a no thank you. And you know, I'm gonna do something a little interesting here. When I was looking at this deck, it was suggested in a turn 1 Flame Tongue to coin into, well, when you get the coin and you have a Flame Tongue, it was suggested to coin into a totem and follow up with a Flame Tongue. That puts a threat on the board very, very early. It's also super risky because if he backstabs that totem, then I've got nothing to follow up. I'm not gonna do that. What I like better, if anything, is a coin Feral Spirit now that I have it in my hand. So I'm actually not gonna do what I was just considering doing. I feel like it's just a little too risky. I coin into a totem, he backstabs it, then it's completely wasted. The coin did nothing. My follow-up of Flame Tongue has nothing to pump up. At least this, if I go with this right here, I might coin into the Unbound Elemental and follow up with a Feral Spirit next turn. Always changing. Welcome to the evolution of a game. Always changing. He can still get rid of this. He could poison weapon, he could backstab, he could double backstab. There's things he could do to get rid of this. He probably should try to get rid of it. But having this early game threat, forcing him to use stuff, I'm not disappointed with that. Look at this. Look at this. He's gonna waste 2 spells just to deal with this. Well, I guess that's not exactly. He technically only needed to use that one of his, right? And then he hit me with a 3, which is what happened. Anyways. Alright, so this turn, he's got 3 coming my way. Why don't we make him take some damage to the face in the process? Job's done. And if he, for some reason, decides not to attack, our follow-up of Flame Tongue will hurt him a lot. It'll be 8 damage in a turn. He has a Shield Master. Follow-up of Flame Tongue becomes less solid here. Maybe Flame Tongue now and hold off on the attack. Lightning Bolt for 3. Lightning Bolt for 3, 4, 5, and then I just push 2 damage through is another option.
What to do?
Yeah, I think we'll have to do that. I think we'll have to do it this way. That was literally, that was not expected. Man, him playing that really kind of threw off my game plan. You know, again, it's a card game. This is what happens. Plans change and they change again and again and again and again. Oh, this will be fine though. Oh, I see attack into that actually. Okay, let's see here. Do we run the risk of a lightning storm not hitting both? You could also totem into forked lightning. I need to get the spell power totem though. What are the odds of that? Not very good. We're gonna go with this because it got the backup of the forked lightning. I'm hoping for some 3s here. We got a 2 and a 3. That works out fine too because now we fork lightning both of them. Rock on. Lots of overload. We're pretty much doing jack squat next turn except for placing down a totem, but we dealt with a lot of what he had for us. I will say thank you.
Thank you.
We dealt with a lot of what he had for us, so. And we forced him to, he threw his weapon against our taunt, which is good for us. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. All right, we got the O2 healing totem. Was it really that overpowered when it healed the character too? I guess so, huh? I cannot imagine how much stronger this deck would be if Healing Totem also healed myself. That thing's getting hexed. Has to. Can't let that thing live. Can't let him draw cards for the rest of his life. So... Maybe Hex plus Totem. Drop the Totem down if he wants to attack into it, he can. I'll get... Do I really need to get rid of that Hex right now, though? I mean, it's just an 0-1. I guess I could just chill out. Yo, Totemic Call. If we get the... Okay, I was gonna say if we get the... If we got the Taunt one, I would have put down the Flame Tongue Totem at that point, but we didn't, so I'm not going to. Just because we have stuff in our hand doesn't mean we need to play it. I like the Ysera. I worry about Assassinates, so he will not be played until I see some Assassinates come out against something else. Unfortunately, I don't know what else he'll assassinate. The only other thing that's really that he might consider assassinating is our 6/5, our Fire Elemental, or maybe our Azure Drakes. But that's really the only thing that I see him considering assassinating.
This is our town.
So I might unfortunately only just get the one draw out of his hair. Please play another small creature. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Let this live, let this live, let this live. Let it live, let it live, let it live. Yes! Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome for this. And we're sitting on 5. Could go with this to push 4 damage through. I could also play the Defender of Argus to push 2 damage through. We go with the Flame Tongue. Push 4 damage through. Call this bad boy in. Got a taunt now, so he's gonna have to use spells to get rid of this stuff if he wants to. Defender of Argus now saved. Can pump up. So I thought, what I was thinking is he's got easy ways to eliminate this. Oh shoot. Gonna have to deal with that. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Well, we've got another Flame Tongue, so I can go, yeah, we're gonna be able to get rid of that. We're gonna end up throwing some stuff at it, but that's okay. Oh, this is a close game. This is rather interesting. Does the shift for the taunt? That's surprising. I guess he doesn't know that I'm about to get rid of his stuff, though. So we are going to go... That's 4 damage. And then I lose everything. So it's 2 damage. Plus I can do 3. And that wouldn't be 4 anymore. So we're gonna go like this, actually. We're holding off on our defender. And then we're gonna go like this. And then we're gonna go like this. And we're gonna be throwing our spell, we're gonna be throwing our totems at this thing. Because I don't want him in play. Now we pass the turn over. So I put defender in between. We have a one taunt, 1 damage taunt, 1 damage taunt, and then I put a Flame Tongue totem in between those two, and we've got 3 damage, and then I would have had the 1 damage on that one. Oh no, yeah, I would have still had that 1 damage on the one side, so that would have been the other thing that I could have done that I did not do. Oh well. Not the Acera. It's, I don't know.
My shield for Argus.
Elements guide. Job done.
There we go. There we go. Very nice. So not the Acera because I wanted to make sure I was getting some taunts in play. And if he had just assassinates, he follows up me playing Acera with an assassinate, then that entire turn was for absolutely nothing, you know? I think I'm dead here. Like, I think this game's over. He's about to hit me for 8. Oh no, sorry, I thought that was a cold blood. Oh, and he's not even hitting me with it, okay. Sure. Let me consider this, actually. Because I have this, which is pretty big. I can get rid of one of his big things here. Oh, I've got a plan. I've got a plan. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is the play. This is good. Get rid of this. We take 5 damage to the face, but that prevents future damage because we now kill this thing. Oh. Oh, yes, that was good. That worked out. Good chance he's got an assassinate in his hand, but we've got 2 very threatening things. I think the first thing, well, the only thing we can play next turn is Ragnaros because we'll be locked out of playing the Acera. But still. It's a Shiv, draw a card. He's looking for something. He didn't care so much about that 1 damage as he did drawing the card. 1 damage helps given that I'm at 9, but definitely feel like that was a dig play rather than a damage play. Starkite Dwarf. Why would you do that? This thing's gonna die next turn by 3-1. That is very strange. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm dead. But still. Alright. So it's either Ragnaros or the Hex to get rid of that. Those are my 2 plays. Hex gets rid of 4 damage, which is pretty big. I think the play might actually be Hex. Given that, because if I play this and it doesn't hit him, he brings me down super low next turn. So I think the play is actually Hex. That's hilarious. That is hilarious that we played a Hex when we had a Ragnaros that we could have played. But again, if Ragnaros hits him, he gets 5 from me next turn, and then he can finish me off with damage in his hand. That's not worth it. He could finish me off with an Eviscerate or something if it was comboed. So it's not worth keeping a 4/4 in play. I totally think that was the play. Now, who knows? Maybe he's going to follow up with something ridiculous, and then I would have wanted the Hex for that. But I think in that moment, obviously you always want to think about the future, but I think in that moment, that was the right call, given the situation. And now if he doesn't play a creature, he's getting hit for 8 with Ragnaros. That is what's happening. Holy heck. Glorious day. Glorious, glorious day. Here's your Ragnaros, sir. Here's a totem. You take 8 to the face. And we have a totem to prevent your weapon attack. Now, here comes the Assassinate. I'll say well played to him, too, rather than just a thank you. Because it has been a good game. I mean, look how long this game's taken. So there's his first Assassinate, as expected. And I'm still going to play the Ysera knowing that he probably has a second Assassinate. Oh no, is there another Eviscerate coming? Or, you know, he gets Sinister Strike, too. I think he's got me here. I think he's got this. Oh, he doesn't have a Sinister Strike? What does he have in his hand? What the heck does he have, then? What the heck does he have? I don't know. Oh, maybe this should be it. I think this should be it. I'm worried that he's going to kill this and then hit me for 3. I think the better play... As much as I want to play the Ysera, I think the better play is the Earth Elemental. This is rather hilarious. I don't know what's going on this game, guys. Well, yes, I do. I'm trying to save my butt. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to live to win. So he has to bypass 2 taunts, assassinate, damage, but he wouldn't have the poison weapon to push through. He might have already used 2 poison weapons this game. I can't think. It's been such a long game. I don't remember. Don't remember at all. Alright, so we've got 7, 8. I can't do 5 more damage from this turn. Okay, there we go. Feral Spirit, and I think we win. Unless he pulls out a Sinister Strike or a combo to Eviscerate, which I think he's played 2 Eviscerates already. So if he pulls out a Sinister Strike, it's 3 damage to hero. That's the game. Otherwise, it's me. Wow. 3 games in a row. Pretty solid. Pretty solid indeed. All right, let's wrap things up here. We're going to take a quick look at the deck list in case you missed that deck spotlight from the other day. A little bit of a longer gameplay video today. This is a longer play deck. It's a deck that, you know, typically wins mid to late game. It's nothing that you're winning early game with. This one is, but we'll be taking a look at that in the future. So the Shaman Competitive Control deck, starting off here, 2 Earth Shocks. Not so much the damage, more so the silence is the reason they're in there. We've got the Fork Lightnings for dealing with early swarm decks. We've got the Lightning Bolt. This is very multi-purpose. Can be used early game, can be used late game, plus spell power to finish off bigger creatures or push through extra damage. Stormforge Axe, typically used early game, removing stuff. Flame Tongue Totem for some surprising damage. You're looking again, turn 3 Feral Spirit. If they live, turn 4, you're locked out of 2 because of Overload. You place down the Flame Tongue Totem, you're pushing through for 8 damage that turn. It can be very, very effective. We've got the Hex for dealing with big, scary creatures. Lava Burst is multi-purpose, just like the Lightning Bolt's damage anywhere you want. Can be very scary late game with 2 plus spell powers in play if you're looking at the Azor Drake plus your totem. Lightning Storm for clearing the board. Mana Tide Totem for card advantage. Protect this behind taunts and you're in a good spot. Or play it early game against a hero that doesn't have a lot of early game answers. Good examples, if you get the coin and you're playing against a Paladin, coin into this on your second turn, and their only response that I can think of offhand, if they have no creatures into play and you coin into this on your second turn, then they're going to have to throw a Hammer of Justice at it, which is until turn 4, so you can get at least 2 draws. If you can guarantee 2 draws off of this, it's well worth it. In my eyes, I see it that way. Unbound Elemental, we've got 1 of them. You have so much overload in this deck. It's chock full of overload that this thing can be very big, but it's not a game. It can be a game winner, but most times it gets eliminated anyways, so it's just a potential threat to force cards against it. Defender of Argus, just absolutely crucial, getting some nicely placed taunts to defend your important creatures, such as things like the Mana Tide Totems. The Azor Drake for the extra spell damage, plus it's a 4/4, very nice against Priest, very nice indeed. The Earth Elemental, just hilarious. You can turn 4 coin into this. You typically don't want to do that, even though it's a 7/8 on turn 4, because if they sheep it, if they hex it, then it doesn't count. But if you don't think they've got, if you're not playing against polymorph, hex, or sheep, then this can be a good play in situations like that, where they can't get rid of it right away, essentially, is what I'm saying. And there's more, there's so much more that can deal with it than those 3 that I mentioned, Shadow Word Death and all sorts of stuff, but just throwing stuff out there. Fire Elemental, big chunky 6/5. The big thing though is that extra 3 damage lets you pick off creatures. And then our late game creatures, we've got Ragnaros and Ysera in the deck. Could try other things. These are the 2 that were suggested by the deck list. And I've been pretty happy with both of their performance so far. I wasn't playing with Ysera before. I was playing with the one that gives +5 spell power. I actually found that more useful in the games that I played, just because Ysera is really good, but you don't know what you're going to get with the card. And the other thing with the +5 spell damage dragon is that if you're turn 10, you can throw that in play and then immediately lightning bolt for 8, which is ridiculous, or 7 still. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy. But it's 8. I don't know. Whatever. All right, guys, that's that. Taking a look at the Shaman Competitive Control deck. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. Keep watching and keep owning.